Hello everyone and welcome back. As you see, something did not work out right, and that be because I did not get these bound to anything. So, we'll go ahead and bind all these, even though I was pretty sure I placed them after, but oh well. Now, there we go. There is all 32, and these are now also bound to the mana pool. Even though you could see that the green line there was actually coming into the mana pool, it was not bound to it, so it wasn't pushing anything. You do have to make them essentially just bow their heads, because that's kind of what it looks like. But like I said, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Breakout, and we are going to be making a little more progress. Alright, here's my basic little setup. The alloy smelter here, set to furnace only, getting charcoal made, and just pushing into this drawer. Everything here is all good. I've got a hopping bonsai back there, automatically feeding in, so that is all set up and good to go. So now anytime these run out, once I get 32 in here, because I'm just going to do 32 at a time, this will push in, or rather I will come drop them and start filling this up. And you'll see I've already got, I'd say, what's that, about a tenth maybe of mana pool. So these will continue to run in the background while we take a look at some other things. And first things first is going to be actually using the mana in the pool for something. As you can see here, reading up here, some things can be changed simply by dropping them into a mana pool. So we need a mana diamond, mana powder, and mana steel. If you remember correctly, when we were going for the improbable block to be able to get downstairs, the mana steel pickaxe is improbable level. That requires 3 mana steel, which, nice little interface here to show, this does not match this. So these bars do not match at all. I don't know what the conversion rate is. If you have any mods like Integrated Dynamics or some of the later add-on mods for Botania, then you'd be able to actually see a numerical value. Not in this though. This is purely visual. I'm sure there is something other than maybe a comparator or that mana star that would indicate how much mana is in here. But I'm not gonna worry about that. We'll just see that this will get up to about half once these are all done, because I dropped charcoal blocks and those do last a while. But we are going to go ahead and make the items, the mana steel, mana diamond, and mana powder. Obviously, hover over it and it will tell you whether or not it is a valid craft. That also goes for whether or not there is enough mana in there. As you see, hovering cobblestone shows nothing, but hovering an iron ingot will show that it will have enough to convert into a mana steel, diamond, or powder. Nothing else here in my inventory would actually transform into anything. So, I'm going to go ahead and do the mana, just drop it on, and there we go. Now, I didn't need to make 32, but I'm going to need 32 later on. I'm actually going to need more mana powder as well, if I remember correctly, but we'll work on that later. And as you can see, as a quest reward, we did get mana pearls, which those will not show me there, but will here, are just an ender pearl dropped in for roughly the same amount of mana. And that did actually use quite a bit. I'd say that used about a tenth, maybe, roughly. So this will be probably a tenth less than half. So about 40% full. roughly, hopefully. But as we can see here, it's already back up to 32, so as soon as those run out, I will be able to do more mana creation with them. But take a look at our quests. This wants a runic altar. This is one of the main actual crafting blocks in Botania. As you can see, it says it wants some runes. It's used to make runes that are used to make some pretty powerful things, or pretty powerful flowers. And we'll see here, we got one for all four all four elements, all four seasons, and then a mana one, and then all 7 sins. So, the ones that are the elements are made of the basic materials, as well as always a mana powder and a mana steel. So if we take a look at the rune of fire, we'll start with the rune of water, fishing rod, sugarcane or dried sugarcane, and bone meal. But always still the mana steel and mana powder. Nether wart, gunpowder, nether brick for the rune of fire, mushroom of either the red or brown, a block of coal, will not accept charcoal, and a stone. And then wind is string, feather, and any color of carpet. So, and it will actually show you whether or not that is valid in JEI here. But if we take a look at, say, the rune of spring, that, while yes is just made of 3 saplings and wheat, will require a rune of water and a rune of fire. Now, unless the configs have been changed in this, I'm fairly certain that you do not need to make more than these runes in order to make the rune of spring. I'm pretty sure they do not get consumed, but I might also be wrong. That might be for the later, like the gluttony, where that is a rune of winter and a rune of fire. Or the rune of wrath, which is, again, winter, was not expecting that, and earth. So, as you can see, the runes themselves are not hard to craft. It's mainly the mana cost and having to actually go through and make all the things for them. But I do know that we are going to need all of these runes, including the mana rune, for something that we're going to need. So that is 5 and a pearl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A pearl. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will need some more mana powder. 2, 3. Let's see. Rune of air, string, feather, and a carpet. Do I have any string? No, I need to get some. Let's go ahead and get the carpet here. And I do not have feathers. So, how are we going to go about doing that? Because that is something that's going to be a necessity here. Well, we need to use some bait in order to get a chicken, which is just 2 seeds and plant it down. Now, as you see up at the top, it says, "You are too close, the animals are scared away." And in the text, in chat, this bait will work in this environment, move out of range so you don't scare the enemies away. So, you have to be 24 blocks away and have water and grass. Doesn't have to be tall grass, just grass blocks. Now, it will take a long time because it's RNG based. So, I will go ahead and get some of the other things ready in order to actually make these runes, and then I will show you how, including how the runic altar is made, which is just a living rock helmet with a mana diamond in it. So there is the runic altar. But between cuts, until I get a chicken, or a couple chickens, I will go ahead and start prepping the materials needed, and then I will be right back. Alright, so I managed to get everything for the runes, so now we can go craft those, but the way that we're going to craft those is with this little setup here. I have a mana spreader that will be feeding from this mana pool directly into the runic altar. Now, the way that I'm going to transfer the mana into this pool is by coming over here. Take a look at the mana pool we have, and you'll notice there is the little arrow right below the bar there. That shows that any mana tablet, which you can make with a mana diamond or a mana pearl, like that, will empty into the mana pool. And if we want to change that, and we do a shift right click, and then we just drop. And if we get up here, I think I can reach it from here, we can actively watch it draining into the tablet. And each tablet does hold half a mana pool, so while that is going at the same time, I am going to make some more mana. Now it won't fill it up as fast as it's taken out, but it'll still be good. And as we saw there, just got a little tick and full tablet. Now come over here, make sure it is in receiving. And we just watch it fill up real quick. Well, I say quick. It's not quick. But this right here should be more than enough for making all the runes that we need at the moment. Eventually we're going to need more, and it looks like... Okay, so it's just under half, which makes no sense as to why it's that much under, but we'll go ahead anyway. Make sure that that is bound to that. Good. And as you can see, it is already full, but it hasn't shot out yet because this is not able to accept. And why did I do that? Okay. Let's get the runes back. Boop, 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 boop. Let's go ahead and start with our mana rune. So you just drop, or you can click. And if you add an item that you don't need, shift right click with an empty hand and that'll put it on. So, and as soon as it got the item it needed, it immediately, you can't really see it all too well because of how compact I've got it, it immediately started putting the mana into it. And now that it's done, you see it's also shooting off a little bit of lightning and electricity and all that. So what we do to finalize is we take and drop a living rock on it and then right click with the Wand of the Forest. And that gets us the Rune of Mana. Now we need the Rune of Air, which is String, Feather, Carpet, Mana Steel, and Mana Powder. So we're going to String, Feather, Carpet, Steel, Powder, and I'm going to go ahead and prime it with all of the living rock we need. So 1, 2, 3. See, that's already done. And you do get 2 for the ones of the elements, but only 1 for the mana. So we've got air now. Mushroom, coal, stone. Coal, stone, mushroom. And it doesn't take too long to actually make these runes. It's just getting the material that is really the issue. And now it's nether brick. Helps if I actually get it on there. Nether brick, gunpowder. Do, 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 do. Now you can, if you have something that can act as a fake player or mechanical user, you can make a Wand of the Forest and just have it constantly right-clicking on here as a way to automate it. It's not really necessary unless you're in a mod pack that requires a lot of runes or adds some special runes that, you know, some add-ons for Botania, some add-on mods might include. But we don't need to do that. Instead, we'll come here, take a look, just get a little XP. The next main quest for Botania is right here. The Terrestrial Agglomeration Plate. Now, what this thing is part of a multi-block structure. And it is what's needed to make Terrasteel. So as you can see here, this is what you need. You need a mana steel, a mana pearl, and a mana diamond to make a Terrasteel, as well as, I believe it's half a mana pool. So that really makes me wonder what this bar translates to. I think it might translate to the... which one is it? The Fabulous Mana Pool, which is made of Shimmer Rock, which is Bifrost and Living Rock, which is very endgame. I mean, like, to the point where you might as well just have the creative pool here. We might get into some of it. We might get into the Alfheim portion, which is Elementium, Elementrade, all that. But for now, what we are wanting to do is make that Terrestrial Agglomeration Plate. That requires a block of Mana Steel and Lapis. I don't have Lapis because that's down here, since we're still waiting on that Singularity and all of that to be set up. So, and as you can see, I moved the cow down here, made a little kind of holding pen, and also got another chicken. Let's get the lapis here. Go ahead and take all that. And we'll come here. 2, 3 for the craft. And I can't remember, is it 3 or 4 that I need for the multi-block? Where's that? 4. Yeah, 4 for the multi-block. So, come here. And there is that. We can now take over to the chest here, store those 4 runes, because I might need them later, I might not, I can't remember. I will, however, need a couple diamonds. $18 should be fine, and pearls. And then a little bit more iron. Alright, there's all that. We'll take and drop another thing of charcoal here. And how are you? Yeah, you should be fine. So, let's go ahead and actually make it. I'll take these. I'll show you what those do in a second. Where do I want to put this? Yeah, I'll put it in here. That should be enough room. Yep. So I'll take that. And let me get the lever here. Just real quick, I'm going to do this. to give myself a little bit more space. And we'll clean up my inventory a little bit, get rid of those. Take the sky stone, put that in there. And that should be good for now. And I completely forgot about the diamonds. Alright. So let's go ahead now and build the terrestrial agglomeration plate. That's it. It is just 4 lapis, 5 living rock, and the plate itself. And that is really all it is. It looks, there's no particles to show you've done it right. There's nothing. It's just you place it down and that's it. Now, this little item here that has a quest reward, it's called a spark. What it does is you place it on a mana pool, and then you can place it over here on the terrestrial agglomeration plate. You can't place it on anything else unless it is something that can actually receive mana. Now let's see how much we have, and that is not enough. So I'm going to take a look at some things real quick. Let's see. So next is to make a terrasteel. And yeah, for now, I'm just going to cut real quick and come back once I've got a little. Alright, we now have a little over half a mana pool, so I'm going to show you how the terrasteel is actually made. As you can see, I do have just a mana diamond, mana steel, and mana pearl, and all you do is just drop them on, and you'll know it's working because you've got these nice little particle effects, and there you go. That is all done. Now if we come over here, oh, that actually, I thought that used half. That was supposed to use half. Oh. Okay, well, I am going to make a lot more. But you will see, once we start getting further along and use more and more, that the items do actually have to drop on the plate. But you'll notice these 3 that go in a circle here and turn green will actually start to slow down to the point where they almost just stop. But as long as there is some sort of mana coming in, which that'll be about the last bit there, because I don't think I'll have enough now. Yeah, no. But once we get a little further in, and, well, not really further in, but once I make a little more mana, drop some more charcoal, because I wasn't making any there, and we will finish making the terrasteel blocks, because they are going to be part of, if I come over here, they are going to be necessary for these, which will be that greenstone gem thing. Let's take a look here. That wants me to do that. I don't need a pick of choice now, because I've got it. That should be... Yep, just now making the block will be the only thing I need to do. I will need one more of everything, because I forgot about needing to actually turn it in. So let me get iron. Now, one thing that you could do, and I didn't say this earlier, I don't think, the pick of choice here, while it is supposed to only be used to mine the borosilicate glass that blocks off these 4 cardinal directions. If, for whatever reason, you don't feel like making a bunch of pickaxes for, clearing out downstairs, like the Palest Crystal pickaxes that I did. Yeah, you saw how little I actually clicked that. And it gave me 7 pickaxes. So, yeah, if you need pickaxes, just hold on to a pick of choice and you can make as many as you want. I am going to actually make a trash can now and get rid of all of those. Because there is absolutely no reason to have them. So there should be... Oh, is there not a trash can? Void? Do I have anything to void with? There we go, nullifier. Better idea. And there we go. So, that's, yeah. At this point, however, I do not need any pickaxes. This obsidian pick lasted me every bit that I needed. So, if early on, and I don't know why you would, you could use that. I guess if you wanted to, you could use it to automate, like, the ore mining later. That, that might actually be a good idea. I might do that. I don't know if that, that's something I will be checking whenever we get to setting that up. Huh. That's a good idea. Okay. That way I wouldn't have to worry about needing some sort of block breaker, just something to use it. But I might have to actually make a block breaker that doesn't use those. But let's go ahead and keep making terrasteel. At 4, so I need 5 more. But I will be finishing that between episodes and probably doing a couple other menial tasks. But that will go ahead and do it for this episode. Go ahead and like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you later.